The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Fait Accompli. That's what Albert Breer said about who the Jets are taking at number 2. We'll break that down and what it means. Matt O'Leary will join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Wish you could have been a Jet, Fernando.
Let's see what happens.
What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show presented by PrizePicks. Smash the like button and make sure, if you haven't already, you click the subscribe button. We are just 70 subscribers away from 45,000. So please help us out and subscribe if you haven't done so already. For those asking about the Jets Collective, episode 3 will be live tonight on the Jets Collective YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So join me, Brandon Tierney, and Rich Samiti for the latest with the Jets on the Jets Collective episode 3. Subscribe to the Jets Collective YouTube channel if you want to watch it live. Let's say hello right now to a dear friend of the show. He joins us every Thursday at this time. It's our guy, Matt O'Leary. Matt, 2 weeks from right now, we'll be getting set for the draft. And this feels like the longest draft season we as Jet fans have ever experienced.
I was just saying that the other day on Talking Jets on Tuesday night. I'm like, is this longer than any other year we've ever done? And I don't quite understand why, but I'm so glad that we're in the home stretch. The countdown is on, Jake.
And if you really want the countdown, how about 14 days, 9 hours, 53 minutes, and 52 seconds? But hey, who's keeping track of those sort of things? Shout to tankathon.com. I find it interesting that it feels like for a while it was going to be Arvell Reese. There wasn't much debate. It feels like the Bailey bros, their good fight, it was coming to an end. And then over the last couple of days, we've had Peter Schrager, Daniel Jeremiah, and I'm about to play the cut from Albert Breer, all say from talking with people that they've heard from that it's not just going to be David Bailey. Breer used the term, it's a fait accompli. I'll play the Albert Breer sound, and then I want to get your thoughts on why all of a sudden we're getting David Bailey noise when it felt like for so long it was going to be Reese.
It's back to, and it's not really a secret. It sounds like if the information's right, that David Bailey is going to be the guy at number 2. Is that what you're hearing? What do you have for us?
I actually talked to a couple of teams that almost talked to, like it was a fait accompli. Now we'll see. You know, the information gets a little better as you get closer to the draft and these guys are coming out of their meetings. But
what do you make of that, Matt? Fait accompli, David Bailey to the Jets at 2.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it because it's not like these are, some questionable people talking about it, like Albert Breer, Peter Schrager, Daniel Jeremiah. All 3 of those guys are extremely plugged in. But I also think that this could still be the Jets like putting this out there for a reason. They very well could like David Bailey, but there were rumors that the Cowboys were interested in moving up for David Bailey. So maybe they're just trying to see if they can get someone to bite on a trade up scenario. I think it's more likely they stick and pick at number 2. I don't think a trade down is very likely from that spot, but maybe they just don't want to telegraph the direction that they're going at pick number 2.
It's just wild how this is coming out all of a sudden. Now the betting odds still reflect Reese to be the pick over Bailey. If they ended up taking Bailey, what's your reaction 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, like my personal preference is Reese, but I'm not anti-Bailey. I think when you look at him, he's a little bit more of a proven pass rusher, where Arvell Reese is a little bit more of a projection. And I think, if done correctly, right, like you add a lot of bigger guys on the interior of your defensive line. They traded for Sweat. They signed Onimata. Those are a couple names there. So if they're a little bit beefier in the middle of their line and just want two guys who could scream off the edge in Will McDonald and David Bailey, those are two speed rushers. Now, I do think Arvell is better significantly against the run than what David Bailey is. And I like that with Arvell, you could play him at linebacker and potentially edge. So I kind of like that versatility a little bit more. But, I understand it from the Jets' perspective. If they did decide to go Bailey and they say, this guy had 70 pressures last year, 14.5 sacks. We want to get after the quarterback. We feel we couldn't pass on it. I understand the logic.
I like David Bailey as well. I just feel like if you're taking David Bailey, is that because you're just trying to take the safe pick at 2? Like, I want to know the logic behind Bailey. Is he the best player? Like, why are they going Bailey over Reese? And I bring that up because I found some of the other comments that Breer made on McShay's podcast yesterday to be fascinating. This was Breer on some of the reasoning behind the Jets taking Bailey. And if this is the reason, I'll get out in front of it. I don't like this rationale. Again, here's Albert Breer talking with Todd McShay yesterday.
There's an interesting, I would say, way to tie this to Aaron Glenn's job security too, is that, I think if you look at Arvell Reese as a little bit more of a project and a little bit more of he's going to be pretty good for you right away, but, you may have to wait a year or two to get the best out of him. Versus like David Bailey is out of the box, going to be a really good pass rusher for you. I'm not saying Aaron Glenn's doing this to save his job, but do you naturally look at that like we need somebody to help us now? You know what I mean? Like, and we need to make sure and not even just a job security thing. It's like continuing to engage the locker room where you're able to get them better results because you're playing better as a team.
I don't want to draft David Bailey if it's just because, short term, he's going to help us save Aaron Glenn's job. Matt will be back with us in just a moment. He's got a plumber that is potentially coming to his home today. So, look, I hear that from Breer, and I like David Bailey as a player, but the reason should not be we're drafting David Bailey because, right away, he gives us more immediately. Like, the Jets are not winning in 2026. They're not. All right, I'm not breaking any news here. Their win total is 6.5. The optimistic Jet fans, they're rooting for the New York Jets to, win 7 or 8 games, right? Oh, show real improvement so Glenn can be here. No one's actually arguing that this team's going to make the playoffs with 36-year-old Geno Smith. So I'm not drafting for 2026. I'm drafting the best football player over the next 5 years. So if you think David Bailey's that guy, then okay, I have no problem taking him. I think he's really, really good. He's a little older, though, than Arvell Reese, so we should be further along as a pass rusher when Reese has only been asked to do it part-time for a season. But he's 20 years old, and all the football people around the NFL, for the most part, think he's the best non-quarterback in this draft. Dane Brugler, in the Beast that came out yesterday, he had Arvell Reese as his number 1 overall player. Like, he's already an elite linebacker, and he's got all the traits where you could see him being an elite rusher. And the Jets have an elite defensive line coach where if they took David Bailey, I think he'd be getting really good coaching. So I'm someone who is fine with taking Bailey, but it can't be, we're trying to save Aaron Glenn's job. That can't be the rationale. That doesn't make any sense. And this is where you find out who actually has, real say in that room. Has Muji earned more sway if, let's say, he wants Reese and Glenn wants Bailey? And I don't know if this situation exists. They might both like Bailey, and okay, that's fine. But we're trying to save Aaron Glenn's job, so we'll take a lesser player long term. It's not about 2026. I know some Jet fans don't like hearing that. We got to be realistic. The team won 3 games this past year. They have 3 first-round picks in 2027. Gee, why do you think that is? Because they're planning on taking their big swing at quarterback then. Right now, it's about building a football team. Who is the better football player over the next 5 years? I believe it will be Arvell Reese. Do I know that for sure? No one knows that for sure. But that's why I'm willing to take that swing over, let's just draft David Bailey because we think he can give us 8.5 sacks in his first year. Like, if you draft Arvell Reese, yeah, he might not be as good year 1 as David Bailey. But you know what? I'm not worried about if he's better than David Bailey in 2026. I don't think that's the right way to look at it. And what I find interesting, though, is so Breer said what he just said, it's about Glenn potentially saving his job. That's some of the logic. But then he goes on to say, hey, perhaps Darren Muji actually has more sway than Aaron Glenn, which is what I've been talking about for months because I believe that to be true. This is Darren Muji, or this is Albert Breer talking about that.
Talking about an organization that just walked away from Jermaine Johnson and Quinnen Williams. And, yes, you want the guy who's going to be best for you for the next 5 years, but based on the position that they're in, as a coaching staff, and then, how that relates to Darren Muji, who's probably got a little bit more rope than AG has, does that push you in the direction of Bailey, So,
it's the opposite. It should push you in the direction of Reese if you think Reese is more of a projection, which, by the way, some people don't think he's as much of a projection as people think. Some people are like, it's not a projection. He just wasn't asked to do it. Once he starts training and he's asked to do it, he's going to do it. Like, we use the term projection like it's this big negative. But that takes away from the fact that Arvell Reese is already elite as a linebacker, and as a part-time rusher, he was effective. So, again, I like David Bailey, but I don't like the logic if it's to try and give Aaron Glenn a better chance to save his job. That's not the point. Projection is viewed as a negative. It shouldn't be, because there's different types of projections. So I'm not going to sit here as a Jet fan and be upset should they take David Bailey. I'll be upset if we learn the reason is because, well, Glenn's trying to save his job. He needs a player who could have a higher sack number in year one, because that will look better for him when he goes to Woody to fight for his job at the end of the season and say, look, I need more time. Look, we hit on David Bailey at 2. Now we got 3 first-round picks. We hit on Member a year ago. Woody, we're building this in. Trust me. Don't let go of the rope. That can't be the reason we're passing on Reese. If you're taking David Bailey, it's because you believe he's the best player that is not a quarterback in this draft, and he plays a premium position. That needs to be the logic, not what Breer is talking about there about, short-term satisfaction for the head coach trying to save his job. That is stupid. We bring Matt O'Leary back with us. Matt, everything good with your plumbing?
Yes, I have an ETA now, so sorry about that. But just had to coordinate with when they'd be able to come today.
Well, before I get your thoughts on some of the clips I just played, I want to shout out the fact that we're giving away a Breece Hall signed helmet across our shows today. So make sure you enter for a chance to win that. And the other raffle prizes on Saturday you'll qualify for are a Joe Namath signed helmet, Darrelle Revis signed helmet, Braylon Allen signed jersey, Anthony Becht signed jersey, our 4th and final prize. With that, I've ranted. Give me your thoughts on those comments there from Albert Breer.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I thought you brought up a lot of good points, right? That it should be more skewed to Arvell Reese if that was the case, instead of going the route of Bailey. And the idea that it's safer, I think, is a little bit overblown, because it's just he's better at some things, or like the pass rush is his skill set, right? But is it safe that he's an every down edge? I don't know, right? Like, what if you're in a scenario where you get another Will McDonald type of player where it's just a pass rush specialist, where Arvell Reese can come into the league, be a good linebacker from the gate, and he develops into an elite edge rusher too. Then you're like, well, shit, we probably should have just went with Arvell Reese in that spot. So I'm with you. I don't necessarily view David Bailey as safer. That's just, to me, it just comes back to, what is your preference? Is your preference that speed edge rusher, or do you want the guy who's, the freak athlete who could play linebacker, maybe make the transition to edge as well, is good against the run, wins with power? They're just a little bit different from each other. That's all.
And also, are we sure either one of these players are good enough as rookies to save Aaron Glenn's job? Aaron Glenn could save his job by proving, regardless of the talent, he knows what he's doing, right? They've raised the floor of their roster. He has now picked another quarterback who's way better than the quarterback he picked a year ago. Regardless who they take, whether it's Reese or Bailey, if you can't find ways to maximize what they do well right now, you're not a very good coach anyway. You have the 16th pick. You have the 33rd pick. You have the 44th pick. Again, you said play calling is your superpower. Either of these players should not be the difference in whether or not Aaron Glenn can prove he deserves a 3rd year. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like we're basing our decision based on his job status. His job status should not be impacted by this sole decision. That should not impact whether or not Aaron Glenn has enough to prove he could actually coach. And what we saw in year 1 is not who he is as a head coach.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Like, I think either one of those guys are going to help your defense, but you still have to see the overall unit and the overall team, too, for that matter, take a drastic step forward. I know we've talked about this a lot anytime I've come on, but, this year, Aaron Glenn has a lot to prove, right? He's coming off a 3-win season, and this team needs to take a significant leap forward in the win department. And he needs to show that he's better in in-game situations in order for him to keep his job. So it's not just if David Bailey or Arvell Reese, comes in and if they're good, it matters on what the impact on the overall team is.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Again, David Bailey, they take him. Really good prospect. I get it. If we're taking him because, Glenn needs someone who could put 8.5 sacks up right away as a rookie, that's not smart logic. That's not how your football should be run. I don't know if you caught the end where Breer talked about Darren Muji's role in all this. I could play it again if you didn't, but just your thoughts on the dynamic of like Muji apparently having more rope than Aaron Glenn does and how that influences the pick.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the fan base too, like they prefer Muji, obviously, and it feels like he has a little bit more of a rope than Aaron Glenn. And it depends on who, the final decision maker really is. And I don't know if we actually, know that for sure, but that's not the most surprising thing, right? Like we've seen guys win out in a power struggle, if that's what you want to call what this is. But for Muji, I think he's really won over this fan base, kind of dating back to this past August when he made those trades for the defensive lineman before the start of the year, and then ended up making the big trades for Sauce and Quinnen. And, I think this is the beginning, right? It's a 2-year period, 26 and 27, where all these picks are. If he comes in and you feel good about the picks that he made and, the record doesn't improve enough, it wouldn't shock me if they kept Darren Muji and then had let him hire his own head coach.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Matt O'Leary with a super chat's cut the line. Michael Greco says 4.99. Any idea what this is in reference to?
Maybe he wanted to send you $4.99 and accidentally sent $5. I don't know.
Well, Michael, thank you. If you had a follow-up to this, please let us know. Shooter writes in, made an extra account and subscribed. # subscriber fraud. I don't know if you know this, Matt. We've had some voter fraud allegations in Asmaniac Madness, which, by the way, resumes this afternoon with the Lane Train and Chef Kevin. We have reached the Sweet 16 portion of the tournament. But to everyone making extra accounts to commit voter fraud, please subscribe to my channel and Matt's channel. We could use the extra numbers.
Yeah, pump those numbers up, baby. Let's go.
Dog Jet fan checks in. Jets definition of purgatory: draft safely and defensively rather than wisely. Finish 6-11, 7-10. Coaching staff stays in 2027 based on quote improvement. And that's the thing. Like 6 wins. Oh, we doubled our win total, Woody. You shouldn't have won 3 games in year 1. So like we need to see real improvement where we all agree, hey, this team actually got better. They were well coached for this head coach to survive. The decision should not come down to Reese or Bailey being good enough to prove that to ownership. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it really is. You got to take the best player or the player you think is going to end up being the best player of the two at the next level. I don't think you should be doing it based on trying to save your job in 2026, as we said. And, a lot of this to me too, like I know Doc calls like 6 or 7 wins. I think the eye test is going to really matter too in this conversation of bringing back Aaron Glenn or not. I don't really know if there's an exact number of wins he has to hit in order for him to come back. I think it kind of matters how they get there.
Ozzie Fuller is the first to enter the signed Breece Hall raffle. He gifted the community 1 membership.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Appreciate you, Ozzie. Your thoughts on how they use Reese in year 1 if he ends up being the pick? And by the way, for what it's worth, 2 weeks out, I still think it's going to end up being Reese, and some of this is just conjecture and smokescreen. I don't think the Jets have made their final decision yet, which is why I find it fascinating that Breer used the term fait accompli. I don't think any team, other than maybe the Raiders, because Kirk Cousins went out and said, yeah, I can't wait to help Fernando when he gets here.
Yeah,
they're obviously taking it 1, but I don't think the Jets have fully determined it's Reese or Bailey at this point. They might be leaning one way or the other, but I don't buy that their final decision's been made.
No, I don't think so either. And, this could be a product of, the Jets do really like Bailey, and maybe it's, hey, like we're putting that, or that gets out there that they like Bailey and are still considering him as an option. My thoughts is it's still going to end up being Arvell Reese when it 2 weeks from tonight, but maybe they're looking at it where it's like 75% chance Arvel Reese, 25% David Bailey. And because there's that 25% chance, that's being amplified right now because it's not 100% on Arvel Reese.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Your thoughts on just the way that the rest of the draft potentially plays out based on taking either Reese or Bailey at 2? Do you think it impacts their thought process at 16? I bring that up because if we look at Reese as more of a projection at 2, well, is there some concern with maybe taking a guy like Jordan Tyson then at 16, given not a projection, but just his injury history? Is he worth the 16th pick? You're basically taking maybe 2 less safer options, if you will, at 2 and 16. Like, if they go swing for the fence with Reese at 2, do they play it safe by preferring, let's say, Omar Cooper over Tyson at 16, or do you think that ultimately doesn't matter?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question that you bring up. My answer would be I don't think it really matters, though. I think if they like Jordan Tyson more than Omar Cooper, they're going to take Jordan Tyson because that's the player that they like. Now, there is risk, obviously, involved with it, and the injuries are a concern for me. But I don't think if they go David Bailey or Arvel Reese, it's going to really sway what they do at 16 or which wide receiver they end up taking.
Phone lines open. If you want to call in, now is the opportunity. 2 weeks out from the draft, what is your perfect draft night 1, night 2? You can make trades. You can come up with whatever scenario. But as you picture what a great draft weekend looks like for the first 2 days in particular, what does that look like for Matt O'Leary?
Yeah, for me on night 1, it's Arvel Reese at 2, Mekhi Lemon at wide receiver at pick 16. It's debatable if he's going to be there or not. I think there's a chance that he is, and if there is that chance, I think that would be a home run pick for the Jets. I would try to trade down from 33 and try to get a 3rd round pick in the process. So, maybe you're moving down and targeting someone like Chase Besantis at guard and then AJ Halsey at safety. I still would want to see this team at a safety relatively early, especially they've talked about Minkah Fitzpatrick playing a decent amount of nickel this year. So I think safety is still a need. So on the first 2 days, I'm trying to trade down from 33, and I would be targeting a safety in the 2nd round, as well as maybe adding a guard.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Load up your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. 2 weeks from the NFL draft. Make sure if you're coming to our draft party in Pittsburgh, you RSVP. The link to do so is in the description. Matt, in terms of the Jets getting some action with some trades, we've talked about trading down a lot. How about trading up? Is there a player that if they start to slide, you're willing to be aggressive and move up for in this draft?
Yeah, for me, that would be Carnell Tate. He's my number 1 receiver in this class. And if you package 16 and 44, I think that math you could get you to around 8 or 9. So if he falls, let's say, past Cleveland, maybe you start trying to do that. I just think he is by far the best receiver, and I think would pair really nicely with Garrett Wilson. So I'm not against that idea. That would be the player I would target, though, if you're moving up. Like I know some people have mentioned, maybe you're trading up for, Caleb Downs if he's falling. But to me, I'd want the offensive weapon. And then with the 33rd pick, you lost out on your other 2nd round pick, but I just talked about potentially moving down from that spot and gaining more capital. Then I would be looking to trade down to pick up some of the capital that I just gave up to move up before. So, they can manipulate the draft, and I'm not really worried about giving up 44 if you could slide down and get let's say a 3rd round pick and end up picking like 40th, let's say.
So if you take 16 and 44, the point value chart of those 2 picks is 1,460 points. So you can still get into the top 8 in theory, just based on that. If you use like the standard NFL trade value sheet, which is available on all the top like DraftNik websites here. So if you take those 2 picks, you could potentially get into the top 8. I wonder, would they be willing to really be aggressive? Would they ever use 16 and 33, package those 2 picks, and you could get 1,500 points? Maybe that gets you to 7 or number 6, which is 1,600. So you're just shy of what that would be. Again, that'd be 16 and 33 for 1,580 points. You'd have enough to get the 7, which is valued at 1,500, or 6 is 1,600. So just 20 points off of that mark. Would you be willing to do that for a particular player, or is that too much for you?
I think it's a little bit rich. I still would want that pick in the top 50 in the second round. And like, if you're trying to, you still have it with 44. But like, if you're moving down from 44 to try to get that third, they don't have. I just think it would be a little bit rich, and 33, I think, would be valuable on night 2 when there's going to be a player. There's always a couple players who are like, I can't believe they made it out of the first round. And the 33rd pick ends up getting traded a lot. So I don't think I would look to move that one.
The Turtle Club says, who spends 16 and 44 for a wide receiver 2? That's the worst logic in the world. I think the perception of Carnell Tate is, oh, he's a wide receiver 2 on his own team. That's because the guy who's a wide receiver 1 on this team might be a top 5 pick in the draft next year.
Right. My question would be, did you watch him? Did you watch him play? I think it would be really exciting to add him to this offense. This team's a bottom 10 offense in the league for the last 10 years. God forbid they get aggressive and try to add legitimate players on the offensive side of the ball.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, keep it coming. If you got anything to add, Leon says, if you take Styles at 2, you can go edge later. Zion Young, Malachi Lawrence, etc. That'd be interesting if they took Styles at 2. I don't see the Jets doing it. I don't hate it. I love the player. I would love if they could somehow, pull off a trade down and then take Sonny Styles. But again, we spent a lot of time covering this. I don't see the team that's trading up to number 2 in this draft.
Yeah, I don't either. And I like Sonny Styles too. And yes, you could take edge later on. It just depends. I don't think I like Zion Young the better of the 2 names that he lists off. And I just don't think he's the same caliber of player. Like Styles and Bailey to me are guys who I think project as, double-digit sack guys at the next level. I think Zion Young could be good, but is he someone who I think is going to be perennial pushing double-digit sacks? I would say probably not. No. So you just have to be okay with that if that's the move that you're making.
Leon follows up and says, Muji will be on the line with Adam Peters at 7. They do have a relationship, those two. And, if you just look at the trade value chart, the Jets certainly have enough to get to that number 7 slot with the Commanders. I don't know who they're targeting. Like, are they a team for Jeremiah Love? They want to add an explosive player to try and help Jaden Daniels get back on track if he's healthy this season. I'm not sure what their plan is, but that'd be interesting because if you look at the Commanders' total amount of draft picks, they don't have a lot. They pick at 7, then they don't pick again until 71. So they don't have a second-round pick, and they also don't have a fourth-round pick. All of a sudden, if you're the Jets and you're trying to make a deal with a team in the top 10, 7 would make some sense if the Commies just want some extra picks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe there'd be a team that's looking to slide back to get some more draft value for them and add some more picks. Depends on who's there at number 7. They could really use some help, I think, on the defensive side of the ball. So if there's a player that they really like there, would they rather just add that elite level player? Or like you said, do they want more picks and more swings at the table? So that's a good call out for a team in the top 10 that may want to move back.
We're presented by PrizePicks. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. Make sure you use code HMA. I put together a prize pick lineup today. Yankees playing during the day, so you got to get this one in before the game starts. Aaron Judge to have a hit. That's right. His number is set at a half. Aaron Judge will have at least one hit today. I'm going more on hits, and I'm going more on Karl Anthony Towns points tonight. Knicks Celtics is the battle there. Towns over 18.5. He scored over 20 in his last 3 games. I think he keeps it rolling again tonight. This is $20 to pay out $48. A little 2-pick power play over at PrizePicks. Follow me there at Jake Asman. Again, download the PrizePicks app. Play $5. Get $50 instantly in lineups. Use code HMA. Phone lines open for anyone who wants in on the conversation. First up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man rocking his Jets hat. You know who it is.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Bob?
Hello, how you doing?
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
How you guys doing? I got that Jet hat on. See it?
Yeah.
Hey, did you win your thing last night? Your 3 picks?
No, we only got 2 of 3.
Oh, crap. I said I would think you were going to win it.
It's hard to win,
crap.
you know?
Yeah, fucking Yankees suck. They should have helped you out.
It's called gambling, Bob. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Have you been to Vegas? You see
I
how those
know.
buildings are built?
Oh, I know. I had to get off of gambling. When I did DraftKings, I did it for no more draft betting at all, so I can't bet anymore.
How's your other 9 toes doing now that your angry toe has been removed?
Oh, I'm happy. You even believe I called it to Boy Green show today?
You're in a jolly mood.
Yeah,
Ever since you lost your toe, you've been way happier.
Wait, hold on. Bobby lost his toe? This is news.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yes. You didn't know that? No, I did.
No.
Yeah, that's right. I did tell you. I'm
So what
not brother with Nick Shy now.
Okay.
Because of my diabetes, I lost it. You know.
I'm
Do you want to know what happened to Mikey yesterday? Tuesday?
You ever, real quick before you get to that,
He
did
was
you ever
supposed
find
to
out
go
what
up
they
to-
did with your toe?
Oh crap! I could X tomorrow. I could X tomorrow. I
Yeah,
have to
give
go
me an
tomorrow. I
answer.
always forget.
I want to use it as a raffle prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, then I gotta know. It's probably buried in the garbage somewhere. So you know what happened to Michael on Tuesday?
No.
Let's hear it.
He has to drive. He went to my dad was going to drive him up to Dartmouth, New Hampshire, right? So we live. My dad's going to meet him in Walpole, New Hampshire, and then Michael gets on the highway, and then the car. I don't know what happened to the car. He totaled the car on Tuesday. He's okay. He totaled it. We had a surprise snowstorm. Like it came very quickly, and everything was icy. That's what he told me. Everything was icy.
So is he health wise? Did he need to go to the hospital, Bob? Like, what's the status of his health?
Yeah. Okay. Tuesday, it was the same thing. He had fluid in his lungs. Then his back was a little hurting, but his back's okay now. But the fluids came back, so that's not good. He spent the night in the hospital on Tuesday and got out yesterday. So,
well, tell him that I hope he feels better.
Yeah. So, Jake, I like your point yesterday with Dallas Cowboys and the Jets. That would be great, right?
For those who missed it, there is a trade proposal that Bill Barnwell put together of the Dallas Cowboys trading up from 12 all the way to 2 because they covet apparently either Reese or Bailey. Matt, are you open to moving down to 12 if Dallas comes calling?
Open to it, yes. I'm open to it. They would have to give up a lot, though.
4 number 1 picks next year. You get 4 number 1 picks next year.
If you get the 4th next year, I would say yes.
You're dealing with senile Jones over there. He's getting senile, so he'll probably make crazy trades anyway.
You know,
so how's married life doing, Matt O'Leary?
Great. Married life is great. Thank you, Bobby.
I am. Hey. Oh, good. I'm not senile. I'm a little senile. Yeah, tell your wife I said hello.
I will.
Is she making you chicken nuggets today? We gotta get entertainment. I lost yesterday. Not more funny. You know, I got my ass whipped yesterday. I don't care, really. I couldn't believe I beat my brother. My brother should have won it. Yeah, I'm okay. I got rid of the younger toe. Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Bobby, please tell Mikey we hope he feels better following his car accident. Michael Greco has sent in a gifted membership. He is in our Brees Hall helmet raffle for one.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Keep it rolling with your calls. This guy seems to only call in when Matt O'Leary is the guest. It's Doug on the bed. Hello, Doug.
This is the only day I have off consistently every week.
Okay.
It works out well.
I thought we were friends, Doug.
We are, Matt. Matt's also my guy. Matt's. I'm one of the early. I feel like Matt O'Leary Jet YouTube guys. So been in here for a while. How do I follow Bobby? I always get the shit end of the stick with people I get on. I get on after Beast a lot. If it's on Matt when the pregame start during this year, I always get after great callers, and it's like, how am I supposed to follow that up?
You're making excuses, Doug. You follow it up by bringing the passion, the energy, the love of the Jets, the takes,
You're right.
all of it.
But at some days, like I don't have peace of mind. I don't just sit on my bed and never leave and rip ass all the day and never leave my apartment. You know, see, I have a life. I have things to do. So it's like I can't bring the same energy some of these other guys do because I can't have it be my entire life. I love the Jets. They do consume my life, but like not every single aspect.
What, look like a retard to you or something?
Yes. But going into the point, I don't think it's going to be Bailey. Like it's smokescreen season. This is all a bunch of hoopla. You know, I think it's going to be Arvell Reese. I don't think they're going to trade two. But so with the Dallas proposal, can they trade the other one since they of the terms conditions of the Quinnen trade? Can they still trade the other first, or how does that work with the terms of the Quinnen trade?
Well, if you got their second first, you would just have both of them. You would have the Dallas and Green Bay first.
So they can't trade one of those to a different team, but they could trade it to us, correct?
I think that has to be the rule because think about it. How else would that work if they if we don't know what pick the Jets would getting at because of the stipulations in that deal? The only way they can make a trade would be to trade with the Jets who already own that pick that it has stipulations on it.
Yeah, that's what because that's when I see Dallas is like, well, we already have like the stipulations in the first, so like how much trading could they really do if they want to use like next year's as ammunition? So, and like they don't have how much capital. Do they have two firsts this year, or they still have two firsts this year with Green Bay, or did they give up one of them, or do they only get one first for the Micah Parsons trade?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
What was your question?
I'm saying, if like, are they able? What did they get in the Micah Parsons trade? Because do they have two firsts this year?
They got two first-round picks.
Like it was two in each of the next 2 years. I couldn't remember if
it was a first this year and a first the following year.
Okay, I couldn't remember that off the top of my head. So what's
Dallas has two first-round picks this year?
Yeah, what's their other first-round pick this year?
It's 12 and 20.
12 and 20, yeah.
Would you take 12 and 20 for two, or would you want more than that?
Would I take 12 and 20 for two? Yeah, I would take 12 and 20 for two. I would. I'd prefer a pick next year, but if I could get 12, I'm okay with that. And I get 20 because I can take Ty Simpson with one of those picks if I wanted to.
Like if you get 12, 20 and like a third next year, I think that's like I'd be like, okay.
Some would say no, because some will say 12 is too far down. You get one of the quote unquote premium players in this draft. I don't subscribe to that. I think if you're a good front office, you could find solid football players about 12 and 20. And I think the Jets need everything right now. So I'm good with it.
Because if you get to 12, I think that Caleb Downs is going to end up falling just because of his position, not because of the player. And I can see him falling into the teens, like the early teens. So by 12, I feel like you can still position yourself to get a type like Caleb Downs. And I think position doesn't matter. I think he's the best player in the draft. But obviously positions matter when you go to the next level. So I think I don't think the Dallas trade would happen, but if they offer you 12, 20 and like a third next year, I would do it. But I think they're going to stay at 2, take Reese. I think they're going to trade one of 33 and 44, and then we'll see. And then receiver, I think I'm happy with any of the receivers really of Tyson, Tate, Lemon, and then I would put Sadiq in there just because of like what he can do. But we'll see. I think and you said with Bailey, Jake, like, as long as it's not the reasons of, oh, we think he can help us immediately, not more long-term, we project him. If they think he's generally the best player, then I have no problem picking Bailey. But if it's just because, okay, he can give us more wins this year, then that shouldn't be the reason why you're picking with the 2 overall pick.
Well said. Good call, Doug. I saw a funny comment from Leon that made me think of the movie Draft Day. You could trade to 12 and then trade back up. So the Jets could do that deal with the Cowboys, and then we could go full Kevin Costner in Draft Day and let's make another deal. Let's move up from 12 and move up a couple spots and get, Sonny Styles if he starts to fall, or let's get Carnell Tate. And it's funny because if they ended up doing that, so many Jet fans are like, just take Tate at 2, screw it, let's go offense, right? Or maybe Jeremiah Love actually started to fall in that scenario. It'd be very funny, and it will never happen. If they made that deal with Dallas, they had 12, 16, 20, 33, 44, and then they're moving back up now from 12, and they ended up basically doing the trade down from 2. It just took a second trade to get to where we ideally would think the trade down from 2 would take them to in the first place.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty nuts. I don't think they would do that, but Yeah, with the amount of ammo you would have, you kind of control the draft at that point, right?
Be crazy. The Turtle Club super chats us. Yes, I watched Tate. I like Brazel better at 33/44 and either EMW/Downs at safety at 16. Wide receiver class in 26 is better than people realize.
Brazel? I don't know. I don't think he's as good as Carnell Tate.
Yeah, I guess from a value standpoint, he thinks it makes more sense, but I'm not sure about that. I think Tate's gonna be really good. I like him a lot.
I do too. I think, like I said, he's my number one wide receiver. Obviously, the Turtle Club doesn't feel the same way, but I don't view him and Brazel in the same tier at all.
Also, Downs, I think, is way better than Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and I like EMW. I wouldn't take him at 16, though. Downs, I would run the Cardin if he's there at 16.
I don't think he's going to be there at 16. I'd be pretty shocked if Caleb Downs made it that far.
Michael Greco has gifted 1 channel membership.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Brees Hall sign helmet is our prize in the raffle today. Austrian Jet fan, he is in the raffle now for 1. Let's go.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Crazy. 2 weeks till the draft. We can't wait. Let's get to more of your calls right now. On the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who will compete in the Sweet 16 this afternoon. Before we bring him on, right now, we play you this message.
Fucking Jets got us in the monsoon. Let's go!
Chef Kevin joins us now ahead of his Sweet 16 battle on the afternoon show today against the Lane Train.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
What's up, Kev?
How's it going, Kev?
Another day, man. Yeah, thank you for playing that clip, Jake. That was 2 years ago, coming from Mexico back to Newark Airport, and yeah, we rode in style, man. Got on the Jets plane, man, and it was cool how we didn't even just get off normally. Like, they actually allowed us to get out of the plane. I guess, because it was raining and other things were going on, so it was, took that opportunity to do a little selfie video, because not everybody can say that they actually traveled on the Jets plane, which is pretty cool. But yo, today it's Sweet 16, man. Yo, I'm feeling the energy. I know everybody else is. It's a little different, man. Like right now, the lights are bright, man. Y'all see it. This is the show, man. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to bring it. I got the energy. I got the stuff, man. I know the second show, it's gonna be electric, man. Y'all been bringing it this show. The only thing I really have, man, Matt, I really want to hear your take. Like, if edge, defense, linebacker hybrid, gone at 2, 16, we got a weapon, wide receiver. So what do you want to do with our next 2 picks? Because in my head, we need starters, man.
Yeah, I think safety is still a need for this team. Especially with what they said about Minkah Fitzpatrick, and if he's going to end up playing more in the slot, I think that's the route that you got to go. I'm not against taking a guard in the second round, because I think that would allow him to at least push with Parham to start at left guard. And if the rookie wins out the competition, then maybe you're looking at a competition between Myers and Parham for the center spot, and you're kind of making one of your biggest strengths an even bigger strength and raising the ceiling there. So those are 2 positions I feel like I see myself going back to. I also like Jacob Rodriguez a lot in the second round at linebacker. And if Arvell's going to play more edge and you still are looking for someone next to Demario Davis, because of how Jamie Sherwood took a step back this year, and maybe they just don't trust him as much, I would still look at potentially adding a linebacker too.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Because with Sherwood's contract, it almost seems like an area where we can possibly get out of that, man. Get out of that contract. It almost seems like it might be a little too crammed. in that room. It's almost like the secondary too, man, where at cornerbacks, like that room is pretty packed too. Like if they go and try to draft another cornerback early, like I'm gonna lose my mind, man. It just seems like we have a lot of talent there on paper. The needs was ints, turnovers. We didn't really get a lot of that. The tackling was poor. Yeah, you don't really want to depend on your cornerbacks making tackles, but when they're missing it, when they're not setting themselves in good position, when their form is bad, when they're wrapping up high rather than getting low, like that's an area of concern. So with Glenn, with the defense, man, I could feel a little bit happier knowing that he's in charge and that they're bringing in some guys that they feel like they can develop and groom and make an impact this year, because their butts are on the line, man. I got us at 5, man. I got us at 5 wins, man. And that might not even be able to save his job at this point, man. Like if they're losing some close games, could there be a conversation where it's like, yo, it was close or whatever? But then that falls on the coach, man. You got to be able to put your players in the right position to be able to take over this stuff. Special teams saved us last year. If we didn't have good special teams, then we would have Mendoza, and this draft talk would be a little bit different. But just try to keep everything in perspective. As long as the defense is at top notch with the secondary, what you were talking about, we got Cisco again. Where Cisco, I was disappointed with what he was doing last year. I could feel a little bit better knowing that we're getting starters in this draft with the day one, with those 2 other second picks. The guard, the line, man, I'm with you, man. I think it might be a little bit of a reach at 16. I think it was Vega maybe going for him, but I wouldn't be mad, if we did. But it's weapon. We got to put some points on the board, man.
Amen. Kev, good luck against the Lane train today. It's gonna be quite the battle.
I'm ready. I'm ready, Lane. It's not like Clifton. Clifton was seeing ghosts when he went against Lane. I ain't seeing no ghosts, man. My eyes on the prize, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to do this thing, man. And if I'm lucky enough to get past, I'm gonna be in for a battle, man, with Clifton and Castro. Castro ain't no pushover, man. He's one of those people that brings the passion, who's not afraid to be on an island and to have takes where it's like, it might not be popular, but he's that guy, that OG, man, in the community, where it's like, I'm gonna stand up and give my takes, and he has that passion. So as much as everybody loves Clifton, including myself, don't sleep on Castro. This is gonna be one for the books, for real, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Kevin.
He's always cooking or coaching or flashing his green. This man is cooking or kicking Asmaniac ass. He's at the tailgate, he's cooking, blowtorching his food. A diehard Jets legend, the chef they call Kevin. Chef Kevin.
Here's your look at the full bracket as the Sweet 16 is officially set. We're starting with Chef Kev and the Lane Train this afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, Kyle Clifton and Peter Castro. Saturday show, Leany and Papa Jet. Monday afternoon, Austrian Jet Fan and the Big Fella. Tuesday afternoon, Briga and Gary. Wednesday afternoon, Bonesy and Gypsy. Thursday afternoon, Gorman and Big Cho. Friday afternoon, that's next week, Party with Peg and Artie and PBM. Your look-ahead schedule for the Sweet 16 round in Asmaniac Madness. Matt, your thoughts on the field of 16 now?
There's a lot of really talented callers and fans in here, man. I don't know which direction I'm going to go for a lot of these. There's a lot of tight matchups, but my heart goes out to Purple Belt Mike for him helping me out get my YouTube channel back. So I'm a little biased there, but
that's
some
right.
Great games.
PB, and by the way, I think I mistakenly referred to Australian Jet Fan as Austrian Jet Fan. So if I misspoke, I apologize to you, AJF. I had Austrian Jet Fan on my mind because he sent in the super chat. Chef Kev is numero uno. That is up for debate. The Asmaniacs decide who will win the battle. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. As we sit here right now, Matt, will there be a notable Jets transaction before the draft, or are they dead set with basically the roster they have going into the draft 2 weeks from today?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything with the roster until after the draft. And then maybe we start talking about Brees Hall extension or Joe Tippmann extension or any other, fallout from free agency. But I think the entire focus right now is on the NFL draft. So I don't expect to see any sort of movement in the next couple weeks.
Matt, final question that I see came in from David Aaron. What's the good word? How did the house and lawn survive the elements this winter?
Well, outside of the plumbing issue, I would say very, very good. I put down some seed and fertilizer yesterday. I'm going to do the front on Saturday. So we're full homeowner mode right now. Got to get the grass going for the summer.
Matt, best of luck to you. 2 weeks from tonight, the NFL draft. Thank God.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's long overdue. So I'm excited.
Matt O'Leary, our guest. Matt, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jake.
Matt O'Leary NY on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. We're brought to you by ZipRecruiter. It's draft season, baby. The Jets are conducting job interviews, right? That's what a top 30 visit essentially is. That's what the NFL Combine is. All these workouts, all that. Every Jet fan is now a GM. We got to take this guy. No, trade back, draft the quarterback. Meanwhile, we all know how this goes. Because if it's one thing the Jets have taught us over the years, it's that finding the right talent is the most important thing. And that's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is basically your front office, except it actually works. Their smart matching tech finds qualified candidates that fit what you're looking for fast. You can even add screening questions so you're not wasting time interviewing someone who would have been cut before training camp. No reaches, no busts, just the right picks for your team. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter, they get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. I put something together that I wanted to play on Arvell Reese. There's so much discussion on what he is as a player, how it translates to the next level. Here's a film breakdown specifically on Arvell Reese from Film Watchers that I wanted to play.
Arvell Reese is one of the highest ceilings in this draft class because this guy was just built to play football. He is so athletically gifted, and you can see it on this GH counter from Illinois because as the guard pulls around, he's going to kick out Arvell Reese, and then the H climbs up right through that gap and leads for the running back. And Arvell Reese does a great job with how he squeezes down. He gets this wide base, a low pad level. The guard tries to kick him out, and he just absorbs this block. That completely eliminates that gap. The H can't climb up through it. Running back has to bounce, and that run goes for about no yards because Arvell Reese was so strong at the point of attack. You see another great rep here. He engages with the center and then just fights through this block while making the tackle. Heck of a play there. And then this one, you just can't coach. The guy is so gifted, and he makes this look so easy because you get a jet sweep, and you can see he just closes the space between him and that ball carrier so quick. His feet move so fast. They chop so quickly, and he just absorbs the ball carrier. He made that look so easy. Now, I am concerned slightly about his overall pass rush ability because, like right here, the offensive line has a full slide to the right, and Arvell Reese ends up getting left one-on-one against the running back. You'd expect one of the top edge rushers in this class to pretty much dominate against a running back, especially in college, but then, like, he engages and he goes to his bull rush, which I've noticed he tends to be reliant on at times, and he gets great extension here. Like, this is a great opportunity to hit a second move, maybe, like, clear those hands and then work to the outside, but he just kind of lets the pass rush die, and I would have liked to see a better rep there, but of course, that's only one rep, and like, I can't be too concerned because when that bull rush does work, I mean, it looks like this, and that's just pure dominance. So the guy has such a high ceiling. I would like to see a slightly more polished pass rusher, but that being said, I mean, you just got to coach him up, and that dude's one of the best defensive players in the NFL.
This is what's called Monday Film Room, looking around at teammates going, what the hell is this guy doing? Here's Bailey. Let's run it through. This is a classic. He's not going to take on a little physicality for us, for me, for his teammates. And this is a classic contrast between a guy who avoids contact, Bailey, and a guy who doesn't, Reese, and who's willing to do the little things for his defense, to not destroy the integrity of that defense. Counter, fake pitch, counter, 2nd and 9, championship game. Bailey avoids the kick out. Are we serious? It's a 4-man front. Here's Bailey up top. He's edge. He's the force player. Now, D-tackle, Inside step, I don't know if he's following or if it's planned. If it is inside and someone's replacing Bailey on the edge, that's even worse. If someone's replacing him on the edge, even though no one comes, you should take this kick out with your outside shoulder and try to muck it up right here. Right here, muck it up, make the back go around. He tries to avoid. When you're coming down as the force player, at this point, you're outgunned. D-tackle, slant it in. Take this on. If you're the force player, take it on with your inside shoulder, leave your outside free, but at all costs, attack and muck it up. Muck it up right here. Do damage. Car accident. This way, the counter, the ball carrier, has to cut it up quicker or take more time to bounce it out. If someone's replacing you off the edge, it's even worse what he does, because you got to take it on with your outside shoulder, just cut down the space, do the right thing for your teammates. But when he comes down, okay, screech, 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 screech. Now you know the kick out's coming. You got a puller also coming, classic counter. Get in there. Be violent. Helmet on under the chin, crown under the chin. He stops. He stops. That's how you play crap defense, folks. He stops. And it just gives way for the puller coming through to clean up on the second level. Major issue here. And it's not a one-time thing. Meanwhile, you got a guy, Reese, 2 years younger, weighs 7 or 8 pounds less, doing this off the edge. Bang. Squeeze. Flat. Aggressive. Physical. Doing the right thing for his teammates. He sees the kick out. Here he is to the left. Sees the kick out and attacks it. Attack it. Don't elude. Boom. See what he does for his team? See the difference? This is football. Again, Bailey, great hands, has a chance to be a great pass rusher at the NFL level. Not a 3-down player. This guy is. He's 2 years younger. He's outweighed by Bailey, and yet he's so much more physical and violent, I can't even tell you. He does all the little things so much better. It's mind-boggling that it's even a discussion at 2. This is how you play football. Edge, 3-3-5, reads it, tight end, down immediately, snuffs it out. Here comes the kick. Takes it on perfectly. Head outside, peeking, flat. So the back has to make a decision, has to take time. He has got to make a quicker decision. Doesn't know what to do, tries to slither through, even though Miami almost has a seal. If Reese is too far downhill, doesn't squeeze it too far enough, the back could easily have found something here. But Reese makes it happen, anchors up, outside shoulder pad, detaches, and then makes the play, in on the play. That's defense, folks.
First clip was from Film Watchers on YouTube. Great breakdown. Second clip is from Robbie Sabo of JetX, of course. And I've known Robbie a long time. I've never seen him this passionate about a draft take, or really any take, than how he feels about Reese being not just the pick for the Jets, but the obvious pick, that he doesn't even want to entertain David Bailey. Now, Robbie, very even keeled, but he is dug in on this. He is passionate. Reese is the pick for the Jets. Last chance to get in on today's show. Asmaniac Madness returns this afternoon. We only have 122 likes and 300 people watching the show, so the math is not mathing. Please click the thumbs up button. It helps the channel grow. Also, for those of you unaware, we offer the show as a podcast on Apple or Spotify. Just search Jake Asman Show there, and you could listen back to any YouTube live show that you may have missed. Got the Jets Collective tonight at 7. So I will be doing 4 total shows today, if you can believe that. I'm doing mine right now, my usual afternoon show with Dylan Termerman at 4. I have the Jets Roundtable with Richie and Matt on the Jets Roundtable channel at 3, and then the Jets Collective tonight at 7. So last chance to get in, because I think you all would be losing your mind if you had to do, 10 hours of Jets talk in a single day.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Speaking of people we know losing their minds, let's say hello right now to this guy.
Jerry is a cheater, and he's a disgrace to this country. I think somebody should throw him in Iran and let him be the yeah, that's right.
Are you serious? $4.75 for raisins? Wow.
Someone must have put a little way too much crack in the water today. Let's see, where are we gonna find? Can I find today? No meats today. I already got what I need on meat. I already got my ribs. I already got my chicken. Where the hell is the good stuff at? Where is some good? I need that fried chicken mix where I can, get that chicken more and more crank. I don't want the spices. I'm good on spices. Where's all that other stuff at?
Why don't you want spices?
Always remember, if you're not 25, 50 steps ahead of the game, you're not prepared. You're not prepared if you don't use your head. Use your head, not your asshole.
Hey, let me see your shopping cart. What are we working with so far?
So far, we got a salad, got two things. The Cocoa Puffs are on sale. Hey, what you see is what you get. My pork chops are over there. My two things of chicken right there. Those good old-fashioned chicken wings. And it gets better. It gets better. Good old-fashioned honey chicken wings. Yeah. Little roast beef action. Little bit of garlic, bologna. Get me some caracas and some fresh. What's that smell like? Good old-fashioned salami. Yeah, that's
How
right.
turned on are you?
Run that by me again, please.
You were just sniffing that thing. How turned on are you?
In the words of the great Mr. Ed, wouldn't you like to know?
Calm your freaky down.
Let's see, I already got I am not touching anything with Hostess in it because they're weak.
What?
Where is freaky down? No Hostess here, and no, I don't have salsa, but I don't want no corn tortilla chips because corn tortilla to me lately has been tasting like cardboard. Oh, wait a second. Oh man, well, you know what? A man needs after a hard day's work, not frosted fudge. Let me just show you this, folks. This is okay. This is okay. These are okay. If you're, after a couple of swiggies, these are okay. Only if you had a little too much champagne, you'd be a little swiggy. They're okay.
Are you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Hey, I got the long sleeve that says Local Puffs on it. I got 5 on it. I got 5 on it. You know what, man? You know what a man needs? Nothing says good old fashioned Nutty Buddies. Hey, Nutty Buddies are my.
Oh yeah. That feels better. Oh baby. All right, as they all say, Superman to the rescue.
Thank you, Beast. Enjoy the grocery shopping. We'll check back in with you. By the way, Beast said he wanted to send Gary to Iran. Here is Iranian 3D boxing for you. Enjoy that one. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to a man who's very cool.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Beast, I want to see those receipts. Show me that $4.70 raisins that you bought. I'm very curious.
Hey, keep your. Fine, screw that. Go back there. Yeah, I'm kind of. We're loading right now. We're just loading up the carts.
I always wanted to know what it was like to be Beast's food.
Up we go. Up we go. Up you go.
It's like Sausage Party, but worse.
Right, one more. All right. Yeah. You know what we're going with today? We're gonna go with a good friend of mine. Does anybody remember Captain Kurt? Captain Kurt's famous hot sauce. $4.99. Can't go wrong there. Now it's time for me to get to the front line.
Beast, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm not deaf.
Can you hear me? Oh, good. Did you ever used to watch Supermarket Sweep?
Yes, I have. I've seen that. I've also seen Sale of the Century, Scrabble, Hollywood Squares, even Love Connection. You know the old saying. We'll be back in two.
Good. All right. Well, let me let you pay up. Jake, question for you. Jets question. Not a crazy one like the last couple. Would you be bummed out if the Jets doubled up on edge or wide receiver in their first 4 picks, or do you want them to like diversify and like hit 4 different positions?
All depends who the players are, but no, in theory, no, because those are 2 of the deepest spots in this draft.
Yeah, and I think it's great that we have needs on those, so I'm really excited about it for that reason. And then I had another idea. I don't know if this will happen, but like I would love just as a Jets fan to like snipe the Bills who need a DT to like trade with Chicago, like trade up into like Chicago's pick and just take the best DT just to spite Buffalo.
But I don't want to. I don't want to draft a defensive tackle to spite the Bill. Like the Jets aren't. The Jets can't worry about making moves to deal with Buffalo. They got to just improve on their own.
Well,
We're not there
use
yet.
the depth, but I still think it'd be really funny if we did that. Like we got like Cade McDonald or something like right before it was going to go to the Bills.
I don't think they're going to take a defensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but it would just be fun to get them back.
They traded for Devondre Sweat. They have Harrison Phillips. They have Briggs. Like I think they're kind of set at that position for the year.
For the year, yes. Agreed. But like long term, like having a long term replacement for Q is still something that we got to think about. I don't know.
Right, but we're not there yet. They're building the team back from tearing it down, essentially, right? So we're not at that stage yet. They actually have some solid defensive tackles on the team. They already invested in that position by making the Briggs and Phillips trade and by trading Jermaine Johnson for Sweat.
Yep, fair enough. Like I understand that. So at any rate, this Bailey Reese stuff is going to give you a headache if you listen to it long enough. What do you
want?
It's getting too crazy. I had to start reverting back to maybe we'll trade up for Mendoza and have that kind of crazy high now. So deprive us of that situation. So anyway,
it's got to tear you apart that you're an Indiana alum. You love Fernando Mendoza, and the Jets are 0.13 percentage points in strength of schedule away from being able to have him.
That would have been the dream, but everything happens for a reason. So, I think these long-suffering Jets fans, myself included, we're going to get something good one day, but you got to be able to tough it out and enjoy the lifelong journey towards it. Because I will say, as an Indiana fan, redemption can happen. It's possible. So, and Indiana was way worse of a program than the Jets have been. So, if it can happen to them, it can happen to us as Jets fans too. So take that hopefulness. And I'm glad that we're not going to botch this number 2 pick. Like, I don't think it's actually possible to screw it up. So that's, there's no way Reese is going to be a bust. Like, he'll be useful. Maybe he'll end up being a linebacker more than edge. He's not going to be a bust. I don't see it.
I like him. But like, when you say there's no way the Jets could screw up the pick, I mean, there is definitely a way they can screw up the pick.
I just don't, I can't imagine. Like, I can't see Muji doing it. I can't see Glenn.
Did you think they were going to acquire Aaron Rodgers and win 5 games in year 1 and 7 in year 2?
Fate laughed
or
at
7
us.
in year 1 and 5 in year 2?
Fate laughed at us. We were.
Did you think they were going to start 0-7 this past year?
Again, fate was that you talk about like butterfly effects. The butterfly effects of that Rodgers Achilles tear was just insane.
Well, the biggest effect of all of it is the Zach Wilson pick. That's where all this starts.
Yeah,
that was the defining pivot point for the franchise. If they got that pick right, or it even just wasn't as big of a disaster as it ended up being, the entire trajectory of the Jets is completely different right now.
Did the Darnold trade happen before that pick was made?
So because they were going to take Zach.
You can actually, I guess you're right. I guess the Darnold trade too, like that, those things coinciding would have been very interesting. Not to say we would have ever been able to develop Darnold to the point where he is now, but that is very fascinating, the whole thing. Anyway, just another decade of misery, but I don't think we're going to have another decade. I think if the Sabres can get out of this, then again, like, all right, we're up next now. This is a matter of time. And I'm looking forward to whatever the heck this year brings. I just love how low the expectations are. Because I don't see how we can go lower than how we feel as fans, how the team is positioned, this brutal schedule that we have on paper that doesn't look like we're going to be able to even get like 5 wins just based on where we are right now. So, maybe Gino, pulls a rabbit out of the hat, has a Fitzpatrick-like year, hits 4K. Ironically, he of all people gets us the 4K passing yards in a season. that actually is an interesting bet to think about if he can last the whole season. So, because he's gonna fling it even if we're down by 20. That's just how he plays. So, I guess we'll see. But just want to bring some positivity your way and talk about something a little bit different.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
I hope you're right. I hope Gino has a career year. That's what we want. All right. Potentially our last call. If you want in on the raffle, make sure you get in. Chef Kevin super chatted us. He goes, I want the Bruce Hall helmet. Love Lane, but it's jet life to the next life over here. I appreciate the love and support from the community. Let's go Jets.
Bruce Hall.
I'm being told that Lane will call in today. He is aware of his matchup. So, Chef Kevin, it's not going to be easy to get by the Lane train. That is this afternoon, the Sweet 16, and Asmaniac Madness officially getting underway.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Australian Jets fan is next. Hello, AJF.
Hey, Jake. I have two questions. My first one is going to be Jets related. Could you see a world where the Jets end up...
Whoa. What is that noise?
I don't hear anything.
Where's your other AirPod? Are you holding it?
No, it's in here.
All right. Some weird noises coming out of your sound there.
Hold on. I switched. Is it better?
The old switcheroo.
Can you hear me?
Did it work?
Yeah.
Or is it still sounds fine now? Or is it still a weird noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, so could you see a world where the Jets get Jeremiah Smith next year?
Could I see a world where they get him? I mean, they have 3 first-round picks. Yeah, absolutely.
We have the Cowboys pick and the Colts pick next year, right?
We get the better of either Dallas or Green Bay, depending on how their seasons go, and they also get the Colts pick.
Okay, yeah. I mean, then I would probably most likely think that if the Colts don't go well this season, that they'll probably have the higher pick than Green Bay and Dallas. But this is my other question. Who was the first person to ever get an intro on this show?
I believe V-Man was the first to get an intro.
All right, there was just a random thought that came into my head while Adam's It's Too Cool called in. But yeah, these are important shows when it comes to establishing a campaign for Asmaniac Madness. Everyone out here, if I win, I will go and feed a wild kangaroo. That's my goal. I might have to go, scout out some locations where I can find some kangaroos. But yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. It's going to be a hard matchup versus the big fella, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to fight to the end. The Australian spirit.
You got to believe that you can win.
I do, and I believe in myself. I know it's going to be hard, but we don't back down from a fight. And another interesting thing, Australia and the USA are in the same group for the World Cup this year, so that's going to be very interesting. I'm excited for that.
Some great competition, if you will.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see who wins. But first on my radar is the big fella. So I'm going to be looking to move on, pull off another upset. I think I've pulled off 2 upsets so far. So 3rd time's a charm. Let's go, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Jets fan.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Vote, vote, vote. We're presented by IndaCloud. I'm going to need some IndaCloud when I get done with about 8 hours of Jets talk today. If you don't know what IndaCloud is, listen up. IndaCloud is a fully legal online cannabis dispensary with gummies, premium flower, pre-rolls, and my personal favorite, the zero sugar THC sodas. I'll tell you this, after a long day talking Jets, going live twice a day, roundtable today, collective tonight, one of those sodas at night just helps me reset. No alcohol, no sluggish feeling, just a smooth way to unwind and stay sharp. Everything is lab tested, federally legal hemp THC, and it ships discreetly right to your door. So if you're 21 or older, listen up. Get 35% off your first order and free shipping on orders over $50 at indacloud.co. That's indacloud.co when you use code ASMAN. That's indacloud.co, code ASMAN, 35% off, free shipping over $50. Again, use that code Asman at inthecloud.co. Don't forget to fill out the quick survey after you check out and let them know that you heard about them from the Jake Asman Show. Shout out to IndaCloud for sponsoring our show. Couple super chats and gifted memberships that we got to hit here before we wrap this baby up. We got a Breece Hall signed helmet up for grabs today across our shows. Robin is in for 2. I know this isn't a news flash, but Jets have had the number 2 pick 3 times. Lamb Jones bust, Blair Thomas bust, Zach Wilson bust. I think we should trade the pick. I'm team trade the pick, Robin. I just think in terms of realistic options 2 weeks from tonight, I just don't see it. I think they're going to end up taking Arvell Reese, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, I remember we did the discourse around the number 2 pick when they had it the Zach Wilson year. Lamb Jones, bust. Blair Thomas, bust. Zach Wilson, mega bust. I think you could argue Zach Wilson's the worst draft pick this franchise has ever made when you consider the context of that pick. When you factor in position value, right? This is a guy that was the 2nd overall pick in the draft at quarterback. That sets your franchise back. And then you combine it with the fact they had a Super Bowl winning quarterback that they drafted. And they traded that guy because they failed to develop him. They failed to give him a coach and a team so he can maximize what many of us knew Sam Darnold could be. They broke him to a point where I never thought he was actually going to work in New York. They had to trade Sam. Like, I actually understood it. Douglas didn't draft him. Case ruined him. He didn't hire. Like, I understood moving on from Sam, and they got a big return at the time. But the fact that they had to do that, terrible. And then Sam went to Carolina, and he struggled because that was an awful situation for him. It took the reset year with Shanahan and San Fran, and then the year with O'Connell in Minnesota for him to become the player he now is in Seattle. But this is just terrible. And look, Vernon Golston's up there. You know, Dwayne Robertson is up there. Like, we could go through all the busts, but if you consider how many games Zach started and his numbers, he's as bad as any all-time quarterback bust. Jamarcus Russell, Johnny Manziel, Ryan Leaf. Go look. Like, we did all this when we broke it down. That pick was the worst pick in Jet history, given the context. I'm not saying there weren't worse. Like, Christian Hackenberg was a 2nd-round pick. He was a worse player than Zach. Zach at least played games in the NFL, had moments, right? He won games. Christian Hackenberg was a worse player, but as far as, like, draft pick, if you consider how many games Zach played in, the fact that they moved on from Sam to take him, he's the worst in the history of the franchise. He is. Hackenberg never played in a regular season game, never took a snap. He's a worse player, but that's not the conversation. Worst draft pick, it's Zach Wilson. Don Papino with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dom. Chad checks in. What time is the second live show starting later? 4 p.m. with Dylan Terraman. 4 p.m. Izzy writes in. I had a dream last week. We moved back and took Bane. I wouldn't hate that. Abu says, Jake, if Geno stayed on Seattle, do you think they win the Super Bowl? No. I don't. I think Sam's better. Let's see. Gator writes in, what do you think the Jets should do at number 2? And while you answer, I'm going to shove a long stem thorny rose up my... Thanks in advance. Well, thank you, Gator. On that note, this just came across my desk. Now, this is going to be interesting because tomorrow we got Kyle Clifton against Peter Castro. 2 passionate Jet fans. And I'm being told that this right here is from the Peter Castro campaign with the following message. Kyle, we're about to take you for a ride. my goodness. Vote tomorrow. Clifton versus Peter Castro for a spot in the Elite Eight. Wait, what a video from Peter Castro. Don with the super chat. I look at Arvell Reese and the David Bailey argument this way. We don't know 100% what they will do career-wise, but look at it like this. Would you draft Lawrence Taylor Reese or Mark Gastineau Bailey? I mean, you'll take either if you like obviously you would take Lawrence Taylor, but like you just said, Arvell Reese is going to be the best player ever, like the best defensive player ever. So I don't think either of these guys are going to be that good. I don't know. If you tell me either are those level of players, you're fine either way. You obviously would take Lawrence Taylor, but again, beggars can't be choosers here. I don't think we could say Reese is Lawrence Taylor, though. That's kind of crazy to me. I don't think we'd say Bailey is Gastineau. Gastineau had a Hall of Fame level career. All right. This draft talk is getting to all of our brains. Love all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We got a good one this afternoon on Asmaniac Madness. Dylan Terraman will be on. We'll raffle away a signed Brees helmet as well to everyone who entered. So keep that in mind. You guys are the greatest. I'll leave you guys with a clip that I feel needs to be played after the type of show we just had. Sit back, laugh, maybe cry, dream a little bit, you know? And as always, go Jets.
Tie at 16 or 30? No, give me Beast. I want to talk to Beast.
Buenas tardes, El Drimo.
Let me see the ball.
My balls feel like they've been destroyed in pieces.
Beast, I've been waiting. Show me the ball.
I will get it's right there. Can you just I'm trying to get him cleaned up. Do I look like a retard to you or something?
Mm.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Man.
It's not right that he's doing that shit. Beast, you gotta show him the gift that he got you, man.
Wow, look at this. Look at this.
There it is, man. That's an excellent gift. You say thank you? Beast, did you say thank you? That's a really awesome gift, bro. Don't salute, say thank you.
Thanks for the tip there, Mr. Dream. And Gary's a coward.
Okay.
Thank
all right,
you.
man.
That's all I wanted.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.